This is a older Profoto MonoBlock. It's 600 watt seconds. It's called a Compact 600. They also, I believe, make it in a 300 watt seconds. And it is everything you'd expect out of Profoto, except it's not battery operated. Hi, my name's Steve. I am an amateur photographer. I enjoy using older grip equipment. I enjoy using older strobes. I put videos like this out there because when I've looked around for information online, I don't really see a lot for some of this older equipment. So I'm just sharing my kind of thoughts on this. The types of things I like to shoot are still life, a little bit of product photography, and occasionally portraits. So let me share some quick thoughts with you on this. The first is at the flash end. That dome it's a glass frosted dome. It's nice. It protects the flash unit. It protects the quartz modeling lamp. It gives me peace of mind when I put a modifier on or take it off. Also, when you store the unit, you don't have to worry about dinging anything. This one, I'm noticing right now, the frosted unit, the dome is out of alignment. So I was able to adjust that. It popped right back into place. I just didn't want to take the time to put the set together and rephotograph it. On this, a couple of features. First of all, it's a very solid cylinder, and it's a little bit heavy. So, as you're probably familiar with the way modifiers work on a Profoto unit, they can slide in and out, so you can actually push the light further into or pull it further out of the softbox. That's what the numbers there, the 10, 9, all the way going down to 4 would indicate. If you're, I mean, it's way beyond my abilities, so I'm not going to be messing with making fine-tune adjustments for pushing this thing further or farther out. But the other advantage from this being a cylinder is, at least in my opinion, is there's a way to balance it over the light stand. So that's what the clasp is at the top. You can actually unclasp this and then move the whole unit to the back or to the forward, to the left or to the right. And when you have a modifier on there, that's going to make it heavy on the front. And by adjusting it, you have the ability to kind of better center the weight over the light stand. And that might also explain why this, to me, seems a little bit long. The whole flash unit seems long compared to other monoblocks that I've used, and maybe it's just to allow for a little bit more of that adjustment. I don't really know. The way that you are going to adjust this, either tilting it up or tilting it down, there's a really nice handle. The handle is quite secure. When you tighten it, it stays in place. I also picked up a couple of really old Profoto Modifiers. Those tend to be they're not really heavy, but because of their size, they are a little bit heavy. So I have not had any problems trying to keep this thing positioned where I want to have it positioned. The business end, or the back, if you will, is really straightforward. There's a power switch. There's a phono plug that you can use to put your sync. So off-camera sync or radio, or sometimes I'll even use infrared sync, a Wien. It has a built-in flash sync, which is fairly sensitive. And all professional equipment is going to more or less have that. It does require mains power, so you have to plug it in. I have there's ways around that if you want to make it portable. So I, for $100, got a really old Vagabond Mini lithium power source, and that plugs into this, and it works just fine. So the disadvantage is that you have two things to lug around as opposed to just one. The advantage is if the battery ever wears out, I can replace the battery. And it's not a proprietary battery. They still make them. And the other advantage is because the battery isn't actually in the head, the unit is probably a little bit lighter than if the battery was built in. So the power goes from 600 down to about 40 watt seconds. That's 5 stops. I'm not really sure how that works, but it's at full power. 1/1 is 600. Half power is 300. Quarter power is 150. Eighth power is going to be 75. And then the half of 75 at 1/16th is going to be, 37, 40 watt seconds. If you're coming from just a simple hot shoe flash, those are 60 watt seconds. So this can dial down to about half the power of one of those hot shoe flashes. The advantage of using this over a hot shoe flash is that it's, easy to put any kind of modifier on there that you would like, and you have a lot greater power range with this. And it's easier to also mount it securely onto a light stand. Of course, the disadvantage is it's bigger, it's heavier, and all that kind of good stuff. So I don't know what these would cost. Maybe $100, maybe $200. I got this as part of a kit that had a whole bunch of stuff in it, and that's typically what I try to do. Is I look for somebody that's cleaning stuff out. I look for it kind of locally, and that was the case here. So I got a couple of these, 2 or 3 Profoto Modifiers, speed rings, a ring flash, a beauty dish, and like a 1200 watt second pack and a couple of heads. And I'll take 1 or 2 items out of that, I'll sell it, and everything else will be paid for. So to me, what you're looking at didn't cost anything. There's a little bit of work to find it. There's a little bit of work to kind of unpackage it and resell parts, but not that much. So it's old, it's professional. These, I'm going to guess, would have been offered in a studio rental house. And in what that means is that it needs to be consistent. What that means is it needs to stand up to day in and day out use. And I like that with the older professional equipment. And I, would suggest that if you're buying newer equipment, it may have more features, it may have more automation, it may have more portability in terms of being battery operated, but it may not have the same level of build quality. It may not have the same level of consistency, and it may not be at the same price point. You just have to be comfortable working with something that is secondhand. And I'm kind of guessing I'm the second person to own this. So easy decision for me to make. I enjoy using them. And I hope this helps you if you have a chance to pick one of these up or are thinking about it.